All right, Chris, Jeremy, thanks for jumping on, man. We've had some great conversations already, and we're going into some more. One of the things that's interesting, though, is that you guys are business partners in different states, not close to each other, like geographically, and yet you've created this thriving business empire that continues to grow. Most people have experienced bad partnerships, right? And a lot don't even know what a decent partnership looks like, feels like. How have you guys created this synergy between you that allows for not just growth, but continued growth, and to remain best friends while you're doing business together?
Nice. Chris, you want to take on?
Yeah, so I think this is so cool. Earlier I was saying, hey, I can't wait till you guys hear from Jeremy, or, Jeremy does the back end, stuff like that. So if we could just back it up a little bit, Trevor was talking about how he was doing door-to-door sales, and I didn't get to say that, we did door-to-door sales too. It was Kirby vacuums. You ever do anything like that, Trevor?
Not vacuums, man, but I was in pest, security, and solar.
Yeah, so we were knocking on doors trying to sell a $1,600 vacuum. And I was working at a dealership, and he came in, recruited me. I went to the interview. He told me it was a electrical distribution center. And then I found out it was vacuums, but I stayed on. I stayed on. He recruited me. He had just had a baby. I had just had a baby, and we just kind of like clicked. Boom. And that was when I was like 18 years old. So 18 years later, still best friends, multiple businesses, ups and downs just like anybody else. And, here we are running a successful e-com business, coaching programs, all that stuff. It just took a life of its own, basically.
Well, so what do you attribute the longevity to?
Honestly, it's having your own space, being able to do what you're good at, and not stepping on the other one's toes. Like Chris talked about front end and back end. So Chris's job, and it's beautiful because we consider what we do a job, right? So his job is to bring money into the business, right? On the e-com side. He basically just focuses on putting up ads and bringing money into the business. Once the money comes in, that's where I come in. I deal with paying, hiring the VAs, training the VAs, paying the VAs, dealing with the vendors on the back end, making the deals and the agreements on how we're going to pay them, when we're going to pay them, how we're going to send them the orders. I deal with all of the numbers, whether or not we're making money or losing money. So the responsibilities, even though, me rattling all this stuff off, it seems like the scale's tipped. He's got the higher end job, because without money coming in, the business can't run. Mm-hmm. So can I put up ads? Can I do his end of it? Yeah, of course. When he goes on vacation, that's what I do. I hop in his seat and I wear his hat. And then when he comes home, I can't wait to give it back to him. I'm just like, here, man, take it and run with it, because this is what you do. I'm going to do what I do. Just like when I'm on vacation, I get back and he can't wait. He has a bottle of Tylenol like this. And he's like, dude, he's like, seriously, if I look at one more spreadsheet, I'm going to freaking explode. So
no spreadsheets for me.
Yeah. We both have our responsibilities, and we just play to our responsibilities. And that's really it. We don't ever cross, those boundaries. And that's what really makes us be able to work together for so long. And not just e-com, but like he said, we have plenty of other, on-land businesses as well, brick and mortar companies. And it's the same thing there. We just basically say, hey, this is what we're going to do. What do you want to do? And here's what I'm going to do. And that's it. And we work that exactly like that.
For me, like I had, a lot of dark moments, 07, 08, as everything was kind of crashing down, just losing customers left and right. And for me, having a business partner was like this safe haven, because he understands the fight. He's in the fight with me. I can rely on him, as opposed to the various times when I was by myself and, I've got to put on this happy face for the staff, happy face for my family, but then I understand what's actually going on. And so it's like, it's an incredible emotional support during those moments. Like that was how it was for me. Having said that, I've had a handful of business partners that I thought it would go really well, and it really went south. What do you guys do when you're in a severe disagreement? Not just something like, dude, don't put that product up, but I'm talking about you're in, like it's for real.
Honestly, here's what happens. Hold on one second. Here's what happens with that. The only time I feel that head clashing goes on, and you're probably going to laugh at this, but we've known each other almost 20 years. In 20 years' time, we've never knock on wood, we've never had a disagreement, argument, none of that.
Wow.
And here's why. We don't overstep, right? The reason I think those things happen is because you have two of the same people with the same responsibilities sharing those same tasks.
So key, yeah.
And you got one who's doing more than the other, and then you feel the other one's not pulling his weight or so on and so forth. And that's when those battles come about where it's like, hey man, you get these disagreements and clashes, right? We don't have that because when he has to vent, it's just that, he's venting. So he'll call me up and he'll be like, dude, I don't understand. This is bullshit. And it's just like he's, kind of tunnel vision, and I can come in from the outside and I can provide him with some obstacles to, some ways to get over those obstacles. Same with me. When I'm going through it and I'm having issues, dude, I'll call him up and I'll be like, man, I'm about to smash my freaking computer. And he's like, all right, cool, let's talk it through. What's up? And, he's able to provide that non-biased, advice. And I think that's what really helps us because we each do our own part and we don't ever try to do the other one's job. If anything, we'll offer advice or help, but we'll never try to just take over and just be like, I can do this better than you. I'm going to get it done. I think that's honestly what it is. What were you going to say, Chris?
So I'm glad he brought up the partnerships that blow up and stuff like that, because it's something we teach people all the time during partnerships is that they need to find a partner that is doing different stuff than what they're doing. And I think he touched on it a little bit, and I think you shook your head. You were like, exactly, because if you have two people that are trying to do Facebook ads, this is going to happen all the time. Someone's going to get mad at the other person. That's not going to work. The reason partnerships come about is so that they fill things that you may not be really good at or the best at type thing. Like he loves to be on the phones. I can't stand the phones. Could I be on the phones? Yeah. I used to cold call 300 times a day to sell mortgages on the phone. I don't want to do that. He loves the phone. He wants to be on the phone. He wants to pick up that phone every single time it rings. I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to do 10 different things. I want to be on Skype. I want to be talking to the coders. I want to be looking at my Facebook ads. So that's a huge dynamic that you need to find someone that complements you in different areas, not the same.
Yeah, that's key. And that's what I found too. When you got two guys doing the same thing like that, those partnerships don't work. Somebody's going to be better and there's going to be those things. So do what you do best. Let the other guy do the rest. Like that's solid. So how about communication? What do you guys have like a daily type of correlation? You get together, you do this or that. How does that look? And how has that evolved now that you're in e-com instead of starting in, traditional brick and mortar?
That's cool, man. So the easiest way to explain that is kind of just like having a real business, right? In a real business, you have meetings. You bring your people in, you have your morning meeting, you rile them up, rah, 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 and boom, everybody goes and does their job. That's how we were both kind of brought up. Mm-hmm. So for us, we kept moving in that direction where you say we're in different states, but I've known Chris almost 20 years, and we literally used to work across from each other. So we had a desk where we sat across from each other every single day. We would come in the office at 10 a.m. and we wouldn't leave some days until midnight. And we would work together. But it would always start with a morning meeting where we would go over the previous day and we would basically tackle a list and say, okay, yesterday we needed to do this, 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 and this. We accomplished this and that, and there's still this. We need to move over to today. And then today's tasks are this, 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 and this. And we outline our day before the day even starts. That way we have a schedule kind of to go off of. He has his list, I have mine. And usually what we try to do is morning, we try to hook up and we go over our morning meeting. But no matter what, by the end of the day, we always debrief and, we call each other, hey man, great job today. Listen, I've seen the numbers are great. And we go over the day real quick before the day's out. That way, when we start tomorrow morning meeting, we already hit everything on the head. There she is.
She was live on the call. There you go.
Right?
Isn't it cool that he said that? So earlier I was speaking, me and you, Trevor, and you were asking we were talking about goals and things going on. Like we laugh because like left brain, right brain. Like, hey, what's up?
Hi, sweetheart.
You also asked me another question. Like, this is why I work from home. Like,
yeah,
you can't do that if you had a real job.
Not at all, man.
But I think it's cool, even to see it on my side, to hear him say what I said without even being on that call.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So do you guys, do you have some sort of interesting contract, like some sort of partnership outside of, you know, your actual, or is it like, hey, look, we're going to build this business. We trust each other. We got this. Let's go forward.
We have the best contract. It was high five. We're in it.
Gotcha. Well, when you guys are coaching people and they have partnerships blow up, what do you recommend they do? When do you call it quits and when do you work through it? Like where is that line?
So you draw the line from the very beginning, and that's usually part of being a good coach. It's just like a baseball coach or a football coach. You know, you got two running backs. You already know that they're going to constantly be fighting for that starting position, right? So it's a matter of letting them know, hey, listen, you are my first down guy. Even though this guy might be starting because we end up coming in with a pass play and he's our second down guy, doesn't matter. You're my first down guy. So it's the same thing in baseball. It's the same thing in basketball. You got your clutch players. But what starts out right ends out right. And that's a huge, huge saying for us. So when we start with coaching, we always tell our coaching students, if there's a team partnership, right from the beginning, kind of like what I talked about with the list, we split it down the middle. And we say, here are the responsibilities. This is what you're required to do as a business owner in the e-com space. You have to have a 5-department program. These are the 5 departments. Out of these 5 departments, what do you consider your strong points? And same for the other gentleman or girl or whatever it is. What do you consider yours? Okay, great. We're going to split it down the middle. And from this point on out, whenever I have to address an issue regarding Facebook ads, I'm going to you, Trevor. And whenever I have questions regarding the supplier or regarding the VAs, I'm going to you, Chris. And that's how we deal with it right from the beginning. So it's kind of, they're kind of starting off with that way. So there's no other way for them to kind of go about it, at least with us. What happens when they're on their own? Hopefully discipline sets in and they can kind of continue that path after they leave us. But we have a phenomenal track record, man, when it comes to coaching. Usually what we do with our coaching programs, we end up making partnerships, just like Chris said, high five. Look, a contract isn't going to do anything. You know, at the end of the day, really what that does is it tells me you don't trust me and I don't trust you. So that's starting off on a bad note right away. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Can I say something about that? So the contract, you know, there's that legal contract and then there's the real contract you should have, which is setting the expectations. A lot of people don't ever come to the table and be like, this is what I'm going to bring to the table. This is what you should bring to the table. And every day, this is what we need. They just kind of become partners and this person does that and this person does that. And they may talk about it. And that's kind of where, you know, that I guess the snowball effect starts happening where it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and it blows up. So there's got to be expectations up front of what you expect. You know, if you work really hard, if you work long hours, okay, well, you may not work this many hours, but I need this done. If that doesn't happen, then that virtual contract, the real contract that should be there, that's when you split ways.
Definitely. 1,000.
You guys had moments where it's all hitting the fan and you're just like, oh my gosh, are we going to make it through this?
Every day.
Definitely. Like, there's definitely some times that, like, in November, I think we did like 1.1 million, and we were probably on schedule to do $3 million that month, and we lost our Facebook ad account. And not only the ad account, we lost the full business manager on it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. This is right before Black Friday, and everybody's talking about Black Friday numbers, how they're going to kill it and this and that. And I'm like, So instead of like, we tried for like a week to get our Facebook profiles back and this and that, and we just couldn't. Nothing was working. We just kept getting locked out. We were just like, let's just tone it down. Let's take kind of like a vacation. We'll come back in January, and that's what we did. So sometimes you can work through it. Sometimes you can't. You just got to take a break. I don't know if nothing's on the whiteboard right now, but on this side, that whole wall is actually a whiteboard. And we sat here and we were like, all right, if we were going to catch us on Facebook, like why we lost the account, let's do that. And we went through everything. And now we finally have ad accounts again and up and running. So, you know, we just kind of work through the ups and downs.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. There's no questions about it because every day there are trials and tribulations every day. If there aren't, that means that you're not pushing yourself hard